Hey guys, Keith from the Ash and Fly Shop here. Today we're going to tie a little more modern version of the Rogue River Red Ant. This fly's been around arguably 100 years. It's, and variations of it probably go back to England another 50, 60 years before that. It's a great fly, still works. We're just going to modernize it a little bit and make it a skater. Some people might tell you that the Rogue River fish won't really come up to a skater. Well, they won't if you don't fish them. If you do, maybe they will. So here we go. Let's get this going. I like this fly in TMC 7999, size 4. You can tie it smaller if you wanted. I've done that. Works pretty good. For this today, we're going to do it in that size because it shows up pretty good and easy to cast, makes a good wake. Start your thread. Golden pheasant tippet. These are smalls. And what I do is I just kind of set them on top of the fly and fold them in half a little bit there. Kind of get it so it makes a nice tail. Capture it. And what I'm going to do is wrap it all the way down and make my body just a little bit thicker. Cut off my little nubby. Looks good. It's really a pretty simple fly in the end, not a lot of steps. Peacock herl, 3 or 4 good long strands here. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of wrapping this peacock herl around the thread a little bit so that as I wrap it, it gives it a little bit more structure when the fish's teeth get around it, that it's not just going to bite it off. Make a nice little ball there. Unwrap it, kind of tie it off. You could do one or two things here. You could just tie this off and then start another thread and come down just for ease today. I'm just gonna cut some of that off. It's just a red floss. Nice and shiny red. Just gonna tie that in. Right back there. Nice even wraps all the way up this guy. If you wanted, you could put a little bit of gold wire coming back up too if you wanted, but we're not going to because the original fly didn't have it. I know the first time I've heard of anybody really talking about it was Zane Grey was talking about it in, I think, 1820 in one of his stories, saying that he got it from the hardware store in either Grants Pass or Medford. The original fly, not the skater, but there we go. That's about it. Now we are going to take a little bit of foam, cut ourselves maybe a 1-inch piece by about a 1/4 inch. That's actually a little thick. Like that. And I am gonna. Closer to the fly. Okay. I'm gonna dock the ends, turn it backwards, and then I'm gonna tie that in. This is pretty standard for most of your scopper style Vise to do this. Just like that. I like kind of a burnt orange or a goldish deer hair. You could use a dark if you wanted. You could use, not moose hair, you could use just a regular old elk hair if you wanted, if that's what you got and you don't want to change up colors. Grab out a little bit of that, clean it up. Now you're really looking for not a ton of that. I hope you can see that. Clean it up pretty good. Stack it. Clean it again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go and kind of cut that to the size that I want. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Maybe just a little shorter. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn this around backwards. And I'm going to tie this in right there. I'm going to try and keep that thread in just one spot right there. Trick here is just to really hold this hair in one spot and tighten up, you know, every time. Get it so it's nice and tight. Then you can make a bunch of wraps, but keep that thread in one spot till you get a nice hold of it like that. Now I'm going to separate some of that hair. Let's do it like this so you can see it. Okay, separate it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it back so I can see it now. I'll trim a little bit of this up. Looks a little straggly in there. Make a few wraps just to get my thread in the right place here. Right in front of that. Maybe even just put a touch of glue there just for fun. All right, now I'm going to take my scissor here just a little bit, and I'm going to separate this just a little bit for that foam to kind of come through it. There we go. Pulling all that hair back as I do this. Pulling that foam over the top. Just making a bunch of wraps right there to kind of hold it in place. That looks good to me. All right, now at this point, you can do one of two things here, and just for fun, we're not gonna do it with yellow, but if fishing, if you wanted to put something, there's gonna be another little piece of foam that goes right here. If you wanted a little bit more visibility on the water, you could use a yellow or a white or something right there. But because I'm trying to keep it in line with the same kind of traditional colors it was, I'm just going to use a little black because I like the way it looks. And I'm going to dock this thing just like that. But then I'm going to take and make one little slice up the back like that. What that's going to do is when I tie this in, it's just going to kind of give it a little buggier look. Doesn't do anything. It's going to support this a little bit more, but the look just helps it get a little buggier, which I like. Just like that. And I'm going to lift these up, get that thread nice and tight up in there. Thread going in there. Oh, whew, thought I broke my thread. You guys were going to hear me cuss there a second ago. There we go. Now I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to get a little bit of glue in there. Move my foam out of the way, get some glue in there. Doing some half hitches with a kind of a sort of a hand whip finish at the same time. Cut that off. Go back, a little more glue. Hit it with my UV light. That's it, spread it out a little bit. Get that nice look. Now, just cut these to where you want them. It's right about there, looks good to me. There you go. A little bit more of a modern version of the Roger red ant. Remember, you're not going to catch fish on a skated fly unless you fish them that way.